All that said, I was like, I'm switching to Blackmagic, and I bought all the Blackmagic stuff, and then I started selling my Sony stuff. I sold my FX6, I sold some lenses, I put my FX3 up for sale. I was like, I'll keep my FX30, which is what I'm streaming on, because it's, fantastic, it's cheap, and it has this cool USB-C webcam function that I'm using. And so I was like, I'll keep the FX30 and a couple lenses, and I'll sell everything else. So I started selling everything, and I had the FX3 up for sale. Someone was going to buy it, and they just waited to buy it. They were like, I'll buy it, and then just waited to pay for it. And in that couple weeks I was waiting for them to get the money, I realized how much I loved the FX3. And so then I, had to call him back and be like, sorry, let me refund your deposit. I'm keeping this camera. I can't sell it. And that's just going to remain true. The FX3 fills a hole that the Blackmagics do not fill. Even if the 6K got perfect autofocus, I would keep the FX3, because the FX3 fills a different niche. It has dual base ISO, very, very good low light performance, amazing low light performance. The 6K is abysmal in low light. Like, it just straight sucks in low light. The Cine 12K is actually pretty good in low light. I was very impressed. It's the best low light performance of any Blackmagic camera ever made, by like at least a stop, like by a wide margin. It's actually like, wow. This is competitive. It's not a Sony. It's not a low light beast. You're not going to shoot in the moonlight or anything, but it's actually very surprisingly good for a cinema camera. But even if all these cameras had autofocus, I would not get rid of the Sonys, because the Sonys fill other boxes beyond just autofocus. So I hope that answers your question. That actually brings me to a whole nother point that I thought about talking about, and since we're kind of at the end of the live, I'll just talk about it. I didn't make an outline for this part. The way you shoot is affected by the way you think, right? And so it's a chicken and egg thing, right? Like, am I shooting with a cinema camera, or am I shooting with a autofocus mirrorless camera with a zoom lens? It's two different ways of thinking. And when you shoot a certain way, you think a certain way. But also, when you think a certain way, you shoot a certain way. So it's like a total chicken and egg thing. And when you make certain gear choices, that goes in line with the ways of shooting. So a cinema camera with prime lenses, cinema lenses, is its own workflow, its own process, its own way of shooting, which becomes its own way of pre-production, because you're thinking about lenses, you're thinking about shots. It's very intentional process. Whereas on I'll just call it videographer, that's just kind of my term for solo, one-man bands, zoom lens, gimbal, like I just call it videographer. I don't mean weddings specifically, I just mean, you're kind of running and gunning with a zoom lens and autofocus. And usually a gimbal, not always a gimbal. That is a different thought process for shooting. It's a very, call it fluid, a very fluid process.